Assessing pedigree, keys to identifying promising racing pigeon bloodlines. For pigeon fanciers, evaluating a bird's pedigree provides invaluable insights into its potential racing performance and breeding value. But when studying complex ancestry charts, what exactly should you be looking for? In this blog, we'll explore the key factors to consider when analyzing a racing pigeon's pedigree and identifying promising bloodlines. Hall of Fame ancestry. The most prestigious pedigrees trace back to proven champion racing pigeons who have earned induction into elite groups like the American Racing Pigeon Union Hall of Fame. Lineage stemming from these esteemed birds signals exceptional genes. No honor in the sport carries more weight than recognition as a Hall of Famer. These pigeons demonstrated the absolute pinnacle of racing prowess during their competitive careers. Their inductions resulted from consistently superb performances in major races. While a Hall of Fame ancestor in a pedigree is no guarantee of greatness, it sets a bird apart right out of the gate. Breeding from proven elite performers increases the odds of replicating their talents. Any bird possessing Hall of Fame heritage should warrant close consideration. Note, however, pedigree depth matters. A single Hall of Fame pigeon 6 generations back has far less influence than a parent or grandparent with such pedigree. Proximity determines impact. Nonetheless, even distant Hall of Fame ancestors hint at good genes. Combining two bloodlines featuring Hall of Famers multiples the chances of racing success. Consistency of excellence. Rather than a single legendary pigeon, look for consistent excellence across multiple generations. The hallmark of a quality pedigree is not one standout but rather many ancestors demonstrating prowess. Avoid overly relying on pedigree highlights like Hall of Famers. Prominence of a single individual may indicate a lack of depth rather than broad quality. Pedigrees too focused on lone stars are unlikely to maintain performance across generations. The strongest indication of quality is repeated success, an unbroken lineage of racers with solid reputations. If one ancestor succeeded due to luck or circumstance, others will reveal this. But generation after generation of accomplished birds signifies strong bloodlines. Ideally, a 5 or 10 generation pedigree will feature race winners in most generations. This proves the line's competitiveness endures over time rather than depending on outliers. Breeding longevity. How long a bloodline has been under active breeding also provides clues to its quality. Proven producers devote great time and effort toward perfecting their lines. Developing generations of elite pigeons does not happen quickly. You want to see consistency in breeders. Avoid birds whose pedigree features breeder names changing routinely every generation or two. This indicates no single fancier managed to establish any meaningful progress with the line. Look for breeder longevity through the generations. Having the same loft continuously propagating the pedigree signals expertise and care went into shaping these birds. Long-time breeders know what traits work and refine them further over seasons of selections. If multiple skilled breeders worked on growing a line over many years, maintaining a collaborative vision, this bodes very well. Continuity in breeding approach means more refinement. Pedigrees with one owner are ideal, but gradual passing between respected partners also works. Racing class. The class of races that a pedigree's ancestors competed in provides useful insight into their abilities. Participation and success in elite events indicates resilience and talent at the highest levels. Especially note if top-tier classic races are represented through multiple generations. The most prestigious events for distance, speed and all-around capability should be highlighted. A bird whose father won a tough 600-mile race and whose grandfather was a champion at 800 miles signals world-class endurance genetics. These performances under extreme demand reveal the line's potential. Birds competing exclusively in minor, local events are less proven. Make sure major race wins are pedigree highlights. The classic short, middle and long distance races must be conquered by a bloodline for it to be considered among the elite tiers. Balanced skill sets. The most competitive pedigrees feature ancestors successful in events assessing varied skills. Pigeons must be versatile to triumph, so look for balance. Avoid heavily specialized lines focused only on sprint or distance. The majestic complete racer blends speed, endurance and homing ability. Ancestors should demonstrate well-rounded talent. However, a pedigree need not be totally homogeneous in skills either. Complementary specialties can provide beneficial hybrid vigor when lines are crossed. But generally each ancestor should have some versatility as part of their skill set even if excelling in one area. Mating decisions can then pair birds to reinforce where more ancestral depth is needed. A sprinter pedigree may be crossed with an endurance line for balance. But both still require generalized competitive genes. Elite survival instincts. Racing taxes a pigeon's survival ability to its absolute limits. Fatigue, weather, predation and navigation challenges conspire against even finishing a race, let alone winning. Pedigrees should reflect ancestors with unique survivorship. Look for long careers consistently competing at advanced ages. Racing into 6, 7 or 8 plus years of age while remaining competitive indicates a special vitality bred into the line. Toughness that enables pushing the limits for seasons demands respect. If a bloodline features early burnouts or short careers, this signifies more fragile constitutions. It may win young but will fizzle fast. Stamina, mentally and physically, is crucial. Of course, catastrophic injuries can prematurely end even the hardiest bird's career. But repeated generational patterns of racing longevity indicate an embedded survival factor in a pedigree. This grit matters. Sexual prowess. For hens, look at production metrics. Has she been a consistent breeder over years? Ability to routinely lay large healthy clutches reveals underlying constitutional vigor. Likewise, cocks with notable fertility rates and fathering numerous champion offspring display sexual prowess, an often overlooked component of racing genes. Ancestors should exhibit strength in these reproductive areas. A prolific breeder marks strong bloodlines capable of producing new generations of robust champions. Sexual energy channels into racing resilience. Progeny performance. Finally, consider progeny results as the ultimate proof of pedigree potential. Ancestors must demonstrate an ability to reproduce and hopefully improve upon their own feats. Lines lacking in breeder results may reflect fluke performers that cannot pass down qualities. Even average racers who reliably sire winners show breeder value worth prioritizing in a pedigree. Conversely, champions unable to yield comparable progeny shed doubt on the sustainability of a pedigree. Greatness not transferring down the line may be an outlier personal feat more than bloodline fact. Seeing race-winning offspring, especially those surpassing prior generations, affirms a pedigree's production credibility. This test of consistency helps validate ancestors' merit when studied in a pedigree chart and bloodline analysis. The bottom line. While an intriguing bloodline hook like a Hall of Fame ancestor may catch your eye, ultimately a pedigree must show depth and consistency to indicate reliability. Seek out well-balanced birds bred by devoted fanciers for generations demonstrating generalized excellence. Sustained competitive reproduction marks the strongest pedigrees. By studying ancestors for racing longevity across varied elite events, plus evaluating reproductive metrics and offspring, you gain an honest assessment of quality. Avoid flashy outliers and seek out all-around competitiveness crossing generations. An ideal pedigree features no weak links. With a discerning eye for these pedigree clues, you can more astutely assess potential and identify promising bloodlines when acquiring stock. Always double-check races and breeder names within pedigrees for verification rather than accepting them as gospel. But with proper diligence, insight into quality ancestors greatly informs your breeding vision and acquisition decisions. There are many reasons to buy my racing pigeon method. Here are some of the best reasons. You will get excellent results. It's a very simple system to use. It's affordable. I have had over 400 first prize winners. It's adaptable to any situation. You can use it with any racing method, natural, widowhood, young birds. It's a very effective method. There is no need to spend a lot of money on fancy pigeon products. It's a reliable system and it is foolproof to use. Professional athletes, race horses, take the same products. There is science behind this, not just hearsay. It is all to do with red blood cells and oxygen in the blood. Without that, a pigeon will not race well, or an athlete will not win a race. If he has low oxygen in his blood, the above is fact and is 100% science. There are a few things you can do to improve your chances of winning at racing pigeons. One of the most important things is to learn as much as you can about the sport. You'll need to know the different types of pigeons, how to train them, and how to race them. Another key factor is practice. You'll need to be able to fly your pigeons competently in order to win races. And, of course, you'll need to have the funds to invest in racing pigeons and other racing equipment.